Everybody, welcome to the True Life News Show. Today, we have some huge, major updates for you guys. You are not going to believe this, but I am so ecstatic to tell you about today's news, guys. Grab the popcorn, sit back, and enjoy, because we got a show for you today. America is winning right now, and Donald Trump and Elon Musk are taking it to the next level, everybody. Not only has Trump secured all the investments thus far, we're talking $8 trillion thus far. Well, guess what? He just secured another $1 trillion in investments into the United States, guys. This guy is an insane businessman for America right now, helping us to win, helping us to grow, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is he not the businessman that we wanted? Not only that, but Trump has just won a huge ruling that a federal judge has now secured that Trump can use the Aliens Enemies Act to deport all the criminal illegal aliens in the United States, guys. Now it's done. It's over. He can do it, getting them out. No more dealing with these rogue federal judges, because we now had the final ruling. And guys, get ready for this. Trump's DOJ has found evidence that Biden's last-minute preemptive pardons have been in review. They've been going over them. They have found evidence that Ed Martin, who's previous U.S. attorney who was over this, Biden wasn't fully aware of the pardons, and they were taking place. They were completed without his knowledge, and he was told after the fact that they were actually done. Talk about a huge scandal, guys. We got all the details for you in just a moment. This is nuts, guys. So huge. But want to say, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. The big thing, the Social Security, big win for Social Security, guys. What I love is Trump is now diverting funds away from that was already allocated to illegal aliens, non-citizens, allocating those funds back to American people to give to people on Social Security, guys. What a huge win. Not only, guys, I mean, this is just so much going on. I want to get you taken care of, guys. But President Donald Trump got his huge, massive win to continue cleaning out the states. Federal Judge Stephanie Haynes has ruled that President Trump's use of the Aliens Enemies Act to deport criminal illegal gang members is lawful. And not only that, guys, right here, the Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan, who tried to help a legal alien escape, has officially been indicted by a grand jury for helping an illegal to evade ICE. Now that is what we've been waiting for. That is accountability, baby. The rest are coming. On top of that, like I said, the DOJ is reportedly going over all the Biden last-minute pardons, and we found all this evidence. Biden wasn't fully aware. They were carried out without his knowledge, and then he was told after the fact, guys, that everything happened. This is from former U.S. Attorney Ed Martin, who is now working at the DOJ in charge in leading all the weaponization stuff. Guys, this is huge. And not only that, guys, you want to hear this? Some more cover up. This is why the Democrats are trying to cover up the fraud, the waste, and the abuse. You're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you, guys, and we're going to show you everything. During Biden's first 2 years in office, he paid out $271 million in unemployment benefits to thousands of existing millionaires. People that are already millionaires being able to get unemployment benefits. The corruption is real, guys. This is insane. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers, guys. Thank you so much for your support. We're so grateful that you watch us every day. And if you're not subscribed, guys, what are you doing? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Join our family here at True Life News. We want you here. We want to take care of you every day with the top news. And I want to give some love to our members of the channel for their continued support. Remember, when you're a member or you give a super chat donation, we take that money and we donate it live on stream on the 22nd of every single month. You see this guy giving back to a local charity, guys, and we're this month on the 22nd, we're giving to a local children's home, guys. Kids that ain't got nobody. you know what? They got us. We're going to be there for them, and we're going to support them. And I want to give some love to Mr. Tracy J. Norby, Marilyn Dalen, Lauren Simmons. Guys, y'all show them some love in the chat. If you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button. Guys, we got some big news today. Not only has Trump secured a $1 trillion new investment into the United States, we just found out from the DOJ that we have evidence that Biden's last-minute preemptive pardons aren't even so. They were done without his knowledge and done preemptively without his knowing. He was only told after the fact. We've got where the Aliens Enemies Act for Trump to deport all the criminal illegal aliens is finally in full force and has been ruled lawful by a federal judge. And we've caught Biden's dang people giving unemployment benefits, $271 million, to thousands of millionaires. Guys, you can't make this stuff up, guys. We got an insane show for you today. Check this out.
Peace between India and Pakistan. That didn't cost us anything, by the way. He got Zelensky to agree to a meeting with Putin. He announced that China agreed to a 90-day trade deal. Hamas released the last American hostage. The stock market added almost $2 trillion in value today. And he's going to cut drug costs by as much as 80%.
Let's go.
We are going to pay the lowest price there is in the world. We will get whoever is paying the lowest price. That's the price that we're going to get. So remember that. So we're no longer paying 10 times more than another country. Whoever is paying.
Well, ain't that something? I'll wait for the applause from all the haters on all these things, but mostly on this drug. So remember this doozy? Biden claimed that he brought down insulin to $15 from $400 a shot.
We brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for an insulin shot as opposed to $400.
Well, a couple things blatantly dishonest and wrong about that. But remember when the media let him get away with it and they fawned over him for that?
Look at the things that the president has been doing, from reducing prescription drug prices, capping insulin prices at $35.
We need to run against Republicans. So we're lowering the cost of insulin to $35, right? Which it should even be lower given how long insulin's been around.
While Republicans continue their streak of voting against things that voters overwhelmingly support, like putting a cap on insulin prices.
All right, but
guys, let me tell you this. I just want to go ahead and show you because I get so tired of them selling all these lies. But I want you to see this right here. Look at this. Biden was trying to sell off, oh, I'm helping America. Oh, I'm giving back to those, and I'm helping out the poor and the middle class. Well, guess what? Biden also paid out $271 million in unemployment benefits to thousands of millionaires, guys. So I don't want to hear it. There's so much of this that we are finding, guys. The Senator Joni Ernst, who is a Doge caucus chair, found this out, guys. We are finding so much fraud, waste, and abuse, and yet they still try to cover up and say that he was for the people, guys. Give me a break. When we find out stuff like this, we're saying you weren't for the middle class. You didn't put priority on them. You were taking care and allowing, under your administration, to give that much money to millionaires. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Look, I know you'll be shocked by this, but they didn't tell you the whole story. Shocker, right? I know. Here's the real story. First, this was Trump's initiative from the beginning. In 2020, in July, actually, he signed an executive order that made something called the 340B program accessible on insulin that brought it down from as high as $300 or $400 a vial, not a shot, as Biden said, a vial, down to $10 to $20 a vial for the consumer. Biden simply came in 2 years later and snuck into the Inflation Reduction Act and it passed a law that says, hey, you can only charge $35 a vial. That's the law and that's final, and took credit for all of it. The problem with that is it's literally price control, and I don't like that because it's communist. FYI, insulin costs about $10 a vial to make, okay? But instead of just throwing some communist price tag on a drug, Trump is addressing the root causes for high drug prices, which, by the way, other countries don't have. First, there is no centralized price negotiation for any medical treatment anywhere in America. If you walk into an ER, into a hospital, whatever, here's my insurance card. I have a broken leg. I need a kidney. I have to deliver a baby. Ask them what it will cost. They can't tell you.
No.
Because when you come into a hospital, they have to go to 50 different people at their hospital, as you can see here, and reps from a variety of different cares and companies, and depending on who insures you, there are set prices from anything from the medical rep to the PBM to the unions.
Guys, I'm telling you, tell me if transparency is not coming to the average American. We all know it, guys. We know somebody or somebody who said, you know what? A lot of stuff is happening when it comes to the cost of hospital bills or when it comes to the cost of just groceries, inflation. Everything that I'm about to show you is 100% America winning again. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button. Patricia Wyman, let's go. Said, you are wonderful. Love your enthusiasm. Thank you so much, Patricia. Y'all show Patricia some love in the chat. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because this is what I'm showing you is America finally seeing behind the scenes of how much we've been getting ripped off, and we finally have a president who's going to be fighting for us.
Doctors, the insurance, to tell them how much they can charge for this or that. So in this time, you get the surgery and the leg cast or the treatment because you have to have it. The baby's not going to wait. And if you have insurance, 30 days later, you'll get a bill for 90 grand, and insurance covers maybe 87,000 of it, and then you pay $3K. Almost none of that is based on the actual cost of the drugs or the treatment or the service itself. Here's the kicker. If you have no insurance and decide to walk away from that 90K bill, guess who eats that bill? The hospital. And that, ladies and gentlemen, scholars and economists, is why some of these hospitals charge $11 for a single aspirin. See how that all fits together? They got to cover their costs somewhere. But the second part of the cost of drugs in America is because the cost of R&D, the research and development. And look, and I'm actually kind of good spending.
Guys, let me tell you this. And the other cost that they don't really go into is whenever people don't have insurance. As soon as the illegal immigrants were coming over the border, what was the first thing that they gave them? Free Medicare, free Medicaid, housing assistance, all this stuff. Well, guess who foots the bill? The taxpayers. And this is what blows my mind is that as we continue to unveil this stuff and to reveal it, common sense people are moving to the right. Moving to MAGA, guys, because of what you're seeing on the screen, is that we've been getting ripped off for so long that we're finally getting transparency.
Bunch of money on this, but not, wow. With this amount, it cost about $1 billion, as much as 10 to 15 years, to bring one successful drug to market. Now, I know you're thinking, wait, well, what about the COVID vaccine? Yeah, no, that's why I didn't take that thing. Anyway, even after all that, about 90% of drugs fail clinical trials. That means for one successful drug to hit the market, it can cost over $10 billion when you sparse it out among other losses.
Wow.
A lot of that is regulatory cost to do business. Not the actual cost of the drug.
Ain't that the truth?
Government imposes a lot of those. But here's what's really going to get you. The U.S. subsidizes a lot of that global innovation. Yep, Wuhan was one of those subsidies. But when that drug makes it to market, only about 20 to 30% of the revenue that these drug companies make from that drug goes back to R&D because you and I footed the bill for that already. This is the one thing that is going to be hard to bring down the cost of, I know, because you want to get it right because it goes into people's bodies and, will have to be safe, but since most of these companies enjoy some level of immunity from prosecution, like the COVID vax, for example, we could probably reform that a little bit. Maybe they should be footing their own bill instead of minting 40 new billionaires like they did during COVID.
Wow.
But something that can be addressed is the complex, and this is like the main problem with our drug system, complex supply chain that our drugs go through. Right now.
Guys, I want to show you this too as well, because again, too, when you're talking about the money, when you're talking about who's controlling the money, when you're talking about where's the money coming from, who's footing the bill, let me show you this. This news that comes out, 90% of Federal Reserve economists are Democrats. Let me tell you this. Every single time that we turn over a new leaf, we turn the table over, we are finding out that the majority of Democrats are controlling the money. They're controlling the outflow. I have no idea why we don't have GOP or Republicans doing this, but it blows my mind that when it comes to the contributions, the political contributions, all this is in the majority of Democrats. So whenever they are in power, whenever they have their policies being pushed forth, guess what? They're most likely Democrat. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because I'm telling you, Every single day, we're seeing more and more. And what you're about to see next, guys, with all the stuff that's happening, we are continuously learning how corrupt Congress is, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this guy's not in Congress anymore, but there's a lot of stuff happening, and it is blowing even my mind, guys. I want to say thank you so much, Larry Pickett, for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Larry some love in the chat. He said, April made me do it. Let's go. Hey, April, we appreciate you too. Check this out.
Congressman Matt Gaetz, one of the greatest young men in his generation, and sorely missed. We'll get into that. So first off, you were one of the early proponents in President Trump's inner circle. I call it kind of the Gaetz-Tucker school of, hey, non-interventionism. Walk me through why what's happened the last couple of days is so historic, and so many of people that have been colleagues of ours, people we've been close to, and you're a huge defender of Israel, are like their heads are blowing up. Tell me what has gone on here. What has actually transpired the last couple of days?
You're seeing a total rapprochement in the Middle East. This is a region of the world that, 20 years ago was run by a bunch of guys in their 80s. And I think you see the guys who now run this part of the world in their 30s, 40s, early 50s, having a real taste for Western ways and Western markets and Western women, and they are eager to embrace their relationship with the United States in a different way. I have been a critic of Saudi Arabia. I'm certainly a critic of Iran. I don't.
You've been a big critic of Qatar.
Well, at times, but I also I've also praised Qatar for, frankly, doing some of the diplomatic work that has to be done in places where we can't and don't talk to everybody because of the foolish mistakes of the neocons and neoliberals. And that was the core of Trump's message on this trip. That clip of his speech where he talked about the nation builders destroying more nations than they ever built, the interventionists not understanding the places in which they are intervening, and the fact that the true prosperity of the Middle East was built by the people who live there.
Brother Davidson, over the Federalist lead story is that speech. I've got it up on Getter, folks, if you want to go look at it. That speech was the end of the neocons. He basically said that speech of President Trump and the way he went through a logical argument of how we got here and where we're going forward with these folks basically ended what we consider the neocon experiment.
And I think it
you
also
agree with that?
Yeah, I think it certainly was the capstone of that moment in history in the Middle East, but I think it's also a message to other parts of the developing world. What is our Africa strategy? Like, no one could really distill that
Central
to
America,
me, or in a lot of the global South, frankly.
And guys, I want to show you this real quick, because I'm telling you, what we're doing and how we're cleaning up America, setting the precedents for how the United States is going to deal with other countries, with tariffs, with criminal illegal aliens, with how we do our economy. Everybody is 100% jumping on board, guys. Why do you think we're not talking billions, trillions of dollars is pouring in to United States because of this right here? What Trump is doing and showing everybody in the world, we are not going to play around. You either get in check or we will boot you out. Check this out. So federal judge Stephanie Haynes has just ruled in favor that, guess what? Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport criminal illegal aliens is lawful, baby. We knew that the progressive rogue judges were trying to stop him. But why is this so important? Because what Trump has been doing, he's been winning the majority of all of his rulings on how he's operating the United States. So what does that tell Democrats? One, stop messing around with us. What does that tell the world? Number two, that Trump is not playing around. FAFO. He's going to clean up America, make America great again. So you better jump on board now, or else you're going to miss the train, and you don't want to miss the train of where America is going. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, I love it. America is winning like never before.
in the developing economies in Asia. We seem to be trying to draw them into work with the United States to pull them away from China. But I think that the doctrine is very applicable globally, that success is not going to be some function of an American democracy experiment or interventionist war. Success is going to have to derive from the people.
David
in the region.
Ignatius and Ed Luce, I talked to Ed Luce at the Financial Times earlier. They're like stunned at what's going on. Ignatius from the Langley Bugle, Washington Post, the spokesman for the CIA, they're gushing over Trump this morning on Morning Joe.
Let's go.
More engaged in the world than
Why,
ever.
now, why do you think that is? It's because
Are we not playing? Are we not playing the globalist game? You're a non-interventionist.
No. You're missing the signal here.
Go ahead.
The signal is what is Qatar? I mean, the fusion of Qatar and the CIA is something that has been broadly discussed, and I have to be a little careful here, but I mean, come on, Steve. There's a reason Qatar exists, to be the place where a lot of these bad hombres live, and it's because it's a place where you can keep an eye on them. Where would you prefer, them in the Hindu Kush or in downtown Doha, where you can
in
see
a high rise that you can mark them in and out.
Exactly, and you can,
We went over there, and you were key to this in the thinking of the time. We went over in 17, Riyadh, Jerusalem, and Rome. And in Riyadh, as you remember, because you're one of the guys that were working on this behind the scenes, we had the Stop the Terror Financing Memorandum of Understanding. Qatar went out of their way saying, we're not signing this. We had a big brouhaha over there. And then 30 days afterwards, MBZ and MBS basically surrounded Qatar, and they almost went to war. What's changed in that 8 years?
I think that particularly,
where the president's getting a state visit. There's a state dinner tonight. He's signing deals with these guys, $200 billion of Boeing jets.
I think that it is the prowess that Qatar holds in the economic system right now that is undeniable and has to be reckoned with in some way on peaceful terms.
Is the economic system just spreading money around basically Europe, the United States, and other places to kind of buy people off or to look the other way? Is Mark Levin and these guys right that we're looking the other way, the guys that finance the Muslim Brotherhood, just because it's convenient or easy for us to do that?
I mean, you asked me if I believed Qatar had funded the Muslim Brotherhood, and my answer was not any more than we have. I mean, what, America's now going to...
Guys, again, let me ask you this, because I really want to hear your thoughts in the comments. As Trump is bringing in trillions, guys, of dollars into the United States from these other countries that don't believe like us, that believe in the Muslim or believe in Islam. How do you feel about that? Because, man, there's their money investing into the United States, and it's going to create jobs. It's going to help our economy grow. But do you think it's bad money? Do you think it's good money? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Say funding the Muslim Brotherhood means you get disqualified from the global stage, or like paging Huma Abedin, paging Hillary Clinton.
Matt Gaetz is breaking news here. So you believe with President Trump, this is for our non-interventionists. This is the way you do.
This is how you do it. By the way, look at how we got out of this thing with the Houthis. Okay, all of the neocons wanted the Houthi deal to draw us into some big war with Iran, which is their fever dream. And Trump brilliantly played a little fire and ice there and resolved that on the best possible terms for the United States. And now he's able to take the victory lap and say, look, I'm not here to be the block captain of Baghdad. I'm not here to try to figure out how to send a bunch of Western urban planners into Kandahar. I'm here to trade with you. I'm here to sell you our weapons so that you are peaceful with us and interoperable with our ways and not the Chinese or the Russians. And I think that's kind of how Trump-era colonialism in 2025 is going to work. Like you want to sit there and wax poetic about, they spread money around. Donald Trump is the guy who just by executive order stopped the enforcement of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, and he's totally right about it. He is totally right about it. So our policy is going to be a lot more permissive on that kind of stuff and a lot more realistic because, by the way, that's how the world works. That is how the world works.
You're in San Diego
now. Boom, guys. Let me tell you this. What you're about to see on the screen, Guys, I'm telling you, if Trump is just rock'em sock'em robots, like how Bongino used to say, smacking everybody into place, this is huge. DOJ is reportedly reviewing several of Biden's last-minute pardons per former U.S. Attorney Ed Martin. Guys, the things that we're finding out, number one is that Biden had no clue that the pardons were going through. They went through, and then he was told after the fact. Number two, they're preemptive. So this has never existed. They literally said if they've ever committed a crime or if they've been accused of crime, they're pardoned. So usually you only get a pardon when you've been charged. And now we're finding out that all the fraud, the corrupt people that Biden was trying to cover up, Trump has already said that those pardons are void and he's going to go after them. The DOJ is going to go after them because now Ed Martin is leading a huge part of the DOJ where it focuses on the weaponization of lawfare. Guys, this is huge. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much, April Green, for the super chat. Let's go. Said God wants us to prosper. That's why he made Trump our president. Team MAGA. Let's go. Y'all show April some love in the chat. Because, guys, what you're about to see next, this right here, what Biden did, 100%, this homeboy needs to be held accountable because it was a 100% direct invasion of our country, which you're about to see next.
For 4 years, Joe Biden let the world's baddest hombres waltz right into the country. Now, thanks to Trump, we're sending him back home, and it couldn't come soon enough. Primetime got our hands on footage from Congresswoman Anna Paulina's trip to El Salvador, showing mass graves made by MS-13 to cover up mass murder.
Wow.
Biden let these guys into the country, and Democrats are trying to spring them out of jail or fly them back in. Trump hasn't stopped immigration cold. We still let people in on merit or people with legit asylum claims. Yesterday, the State Department welcomed 59 South Africans. When was the last time you saw refugees waving American flags?
Let's go.
Welcome. Welcome to the United States of America. A lot of you, I think, are farmers, right? When you have quality seeds, you can put them in foreign soil and...
I don't want to, guys, we got to move forward. I don't want to get in trouble with the music.
For Biden migrants waving U.S. flags, the closest you got were a bunch of T-shirts with Joe's face on them, telling Bill Melugin they couldn't wait to vote for the big guy.
They're being killed, and we don't want to see people be killed. It's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about, but it's a terrible thing that's taking place, and farmers are being killed. They happen to be white, but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me, but white farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is being confiscated in South Africa.
The media thinks it's racist to give asylum to whites.
We bring in, a group of people who don't remotely qualify as refugees, but what just...
So you only qualify as a refugee if you have melanin in your skin. If you have actual color, like darker color in your skin. To the Democrats, do y'all see how racist this is, guys? It is always so hypocritical to hear them that you have to be a certain sex or gender or whatever you think you are. You have to be a certain color. You have to be a certain minority in order to be qualified into this certain group for them to have empathy for you and to just be so loving towards you. It is just a huge joke. But what I love, guys, is that we are continuing to expose the Democrats for their crazy thinking, and we are bringing in common sense, guys. This is what changes people's minds, is that whenever the Democrats are exposed and we bring in common sense, it shows that we're actually doing what we're supposed to do, treating everybody the same, everybody fairly, and making sure that we continue to push towards that.
Distinguishes them is that they are white.
What makes it different is that they are white South Africans.
White.
President, in my view, has not hidden his racism behind a bushel.
Trump amazingly called it a genocide, one of the worst lies I've ever heard him say. There's just been a small handful of farmers that have been killed over the past 10 years.
Only a couple murders. Biden dumped 500 million Haitians into the country, and the media didn't even bat an eye. But 59 whites is too many. Biden was flying hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans into the country. and they were barely vetted. And the media was like, give them hotel rooms. They can deliver my pizza.
And remember, guys, not just any hotel rooms, the Roosevelt in New York, where it normally costs thousands of dollars per room. You and I as taxpayers subsidized paying for those hotel rooms so that non-citizens could be living in such a nice place. Makes no sense, guys. Why do you think they did that? Because they wanted to torment to voters to say this: we gave you the best that we had. We gave you luxurious hotel rooms. We gave you money per day to go eat. We bought the food that you wanted. We gave you cell phones and internet. So now go vote for us. And you know what? They always, over 90% of the time, actually do vote more Democrat because the Democrats give them all of taxpayer money.
59 South Africans are fully vetted, by the way, unlike Biden migrants, who liberal lawyers coached to say they were scared to death to live at home. Don Lemon says they will not replace us.
We're talking about the white Afrikaners who were allowed into the country and what that means for the black folks and the black farmers. What's going to end up, and the black farmers who've lost so much land over the decades here in the United States because of the racist policies. What does this do? What does this mean? When you see this, what do you think?
Well, Don, this is a slap in the face to America's black farmers right now.
But when 59 white farmers are allowed in, it's a slap in the face. But when 10 million foreigners are let in, it's compassionate.
It's compassion.
Trump's done the impossible. He's made the left hate migrants.
Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, this is mind-blowing that we continuously see the just crazy mind reality that these Democrats live in, that tens of millions come in and, no problem whatsoever. Less than 100 people Trump brings in. And it is literally like, guys, shut down everything. No more refugees, no more. Like, this is mind-blowing, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Primetime's always supported reasonable immigration, but the asylum process was abused. It's got to be legit. If Canadian truckers want to flee their government's tyrannical power grab, come on in. One reason we're bringing in South African refugees is because they won't create more problems. They're not criminals. They're self-reliant. I mean, I couldn't run a 1,000-acre farm, but they're not the right kind of migrants. They don't look like they're from the third world, so Democrats want Kristi Noem to deport them.
Guys, you cannot make this stuff up. And what I love, too, is what you're about to see next. Because, again, everything that we're finding out is just corruption from the left. What happened during the Biden administration that it just blows our mind? Nobody said anything until after the fact, until after that we caught them without a shadow of a doubt. Listen to our boy Scott Jennings lay the smackdown on these CNN news anchors to tell them, like, where were you when all this stuff was happening? No, you were covering it up. Check this out, guys.
Robert Hur wrote in a report, I can't even charge this man because if I put him in front of a jury, they're going to say, this is just a confused old man. We could never get a conviction. We had official government evidence that he was in cognitive decline. And what did the White House do? They smeared Robert Hur. They smeared him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with
do you not feel lied to? Do you guys, the Democrats who ran your party, who ran the White House, the people who lied to you as a journalist, do you not feel any sense of outrage about greed?
Guys, I love you. Do you ever just get tired of being lied to? If that is not the Democratic Party right now, I don't know what is.
Or anybody else in the line.
We don't know what's going to be in the book, by the way. So
it would have been better off for Joe Biden to have been indicted today than what this report turned out.
You're saying politically?
Yes. The number one thing, the number one anvil on the head of this campaign is the American people do not believe he has the mental acuity to serve as president today or for 4 more years. An independent third party comes along and says, he can't remember when he was vice president. He can't remember when his own son passed away. And I can't take this man in front of a jury because he'd be too sympathetic, because he's too old and forgetful. And the jury would find that to be sympathetic. This was politically devastating. An indictment would have.
Guys, I'm telling you, is this not like, are we not living like kind of in the twilight zone right now of how much we were lied to, gaslighted in the past 4 years? How much is coming out? And honestly, the left, they're fumbling over their words. They don't know what to say. We get lied to so much. I want you to listen to this, guys, because again, too, facts are the facts. And when we have our pit bulls coming out and laying the smackdown on the Democrats, guys, this is a show for you. Check this out.
According to the Attorney General of the United States, she posted that the evidence shows Kilmar Abrego Garcia has repeatedly been identified as a member of MS-13 by a Maryland County Police Gang unit, which I introduced for the record, a reliable confidential informant, ICE officers, an immigration judge agreed, and an appellate board agreed.
So you have, is that a court order? Well, I object.
No, she can put anything she wants in the record. She's not complying to your request, Mr. Goldman.
Ooh! She asked for unanimous consent.
Okay, so you're objecting to her putting that into the record?
I am objecting subject to a clarification. Is that a court order that establishes that he's a member of MS-13?
An immigration judge agreed that he was MS-13.
For bail purposes.
An appellate board agreed.
Don't misrepresent.
Hold on.
A judge.
Everybody pause. We're going to let one person talk at a time. You ask a question. Answer the question, please.
According to the Attorney General of the United States, she informed the country that an immigration judge agreed that your Maryland man, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, is MS-13. An appellate board agreed. ICE officers
you are misstating
agreed.
what
a
reliable
Mr. Goldman,
informant.
The clock is not yours right now. She has the floor.
Ooh!
Please continue, Ann.
Guys, do you love this? Do you appreciate this, guys? I love this. Because again, too, they're always going to try to divert. They're always going to try to do what? To try to spin things. And what I love is when they finally hold them accountable.
Answering the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A Maryland County...
She's not answering the question, sir.
No, she's going to answer the question. And then you can object to her answer.
Make sure that she answers the question?
Finish answer. You just said, please finish your answer.
A Maryland County Police Gang unit agreed that he's MS-13. A reliable confidential informant agreed that he's MS-13. ICE officers agreed that he's MS-13. An immigration judge agreed that he's MS-13. An appellate board agreed that Kilmar Abrego Garcia, your Maryland man, is MS-13.
Boom!
I object. The floor. What do you want to say?
I object because she is misstating the record and the facts. That is not accurate, and therefore I object to that being introduced. Can I explain? You let her go on.
Guys, let me tell you this. You cannot, like how much they try to spin things and gaslight and try to say that this isn't true. Well, let me just keep showing you some more, dropping some more facts, guys. I love dropping the facts. Inflation just hit a 4-year low, baby. Despite Democrats' claims, look at that. In 2020, between 2021 to 2022, they kept spending and spending and spending. And guess what? Democrats were in charge. What do you think brought up all the high inflation, guys? This is what I love, is that it's going down. Trump is not only bringing inflation down by spending less in the federal government, reducing the workforce, making government smaller. That's what we want. April Green, thank you so much for the super chat again. Let's go. Said, I want to know why and how all these criminals are getting away with doing illegal things in our government. They also say, arrest me, AOC, or I dare you, Jeffries. Yes, I think put them in some handcuffs, guys. They know they're breaking the law. Y'all show April some love in the chat, guys. I got to bring you an update because, again, guys, whether or not we like this guy right now, we have to stay informed with what is actually going on in Congress, guys, because this is going to affect all of us. Let me know your thoughts on this because, again, too, to me, he's a slippery fish. Let me know your thoughts. If you appreciate all this, guys, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support of our channel. It really does help out so much. Check this out.
do that. We're really grateful that it's National Police Week. Republicans look forward to this. We really, truly do. And we've been welcoming families of fallen officers and law enforcement officers from around the country all week. We had a candlelight vigil last night. There were a couple of those events last night we participated in. And you can't give honor where honor is due enough, especially around this subject. And people put their lives on the line every single day. The numbers are staggering. After the candlelight vigil last night, we went, as Sheriff Rutherford mentioned, Representative Rutherford mentioned, we went to the National Law Enforcement Memorial this morning, and it was misty, and the weather was sort of appropriate because it's when you walk that place and you see the names of more than 24,000 officers whose names are etched into the stone there, it really moves you. And we lost 345 fallen heroes this year alone. They'll be etched into the memorial. So there were many officers out there and just paying their respects, and we placed wreaths as some small token. But look, I come from a first responder family, and I know that sacrifice. I grew up at the Fire and Police Training Academy in my hometown of Shreveport, Louisiana, because my dad was a training officer. He was on the fire side of it, and he also worked the line. And when I was 12 years old, he got burned in an explosion on the job. 80% of his body, third-degree burns. He had a 5% chance to live, 5%. He came back miraculously and survived, but he was terribly disabled for the rest of his life, and his co-captain died in that fire. They were on the hazmat team, and I watched the sorrow that his family, his young family went through, the children he left behind, his spouse, his wife, and I learned at a young age the profound sacrifice that people make, and we have to keep that in perspective. We have to stand behind those who are willing to do that for all the rest of us. And the House Republicans will stand with law enforcement. We definitely do have their back in every way, and we're glad to show it. So thank you for your service. Thank you for your service, David, everybody who does that. My Capitol Police team, my security team, I spend more time with them than I spend with my family and friends and everybody. And they become like family to us, and they do a heroic job. So we're so grateful. Can't say it enough. They deserve our gratitude, and they deserve our respect. And, I wish all of our House Democrats agreed with that. They show with their actions that they don't, And we got to talk about what happened in New Jersey. On Friday, as you all know, 3 Democrat members of Congress got into a physical altercation with our ICE agents. I mean, outside the Delaney Hall Detention Center in New Jersey. What a spectacle that was. What a horrible display for our children to see, right? Amid a long list of shameful and embarrassing episodes this year, that altercation, I think it takes the cake. I think it's a new low for congressional Democrats. Instead of condemning the action, of course, the Democrat leadership in the House sent out a statement of support. My friend Hakeem Jeffries said,
guys, it is mind-blowing that we are seeing on live TV that these Democrats who were trying to get into the ICE facility, trying to break through the barriers and all this stuff, there was criminals, bad criminals, guys. I'm talking about like stuff that I don't want to even say because it's that bad. They were in this facility that's where they were holding them because Trump is getting first the criminal illegal aliens. And it's so insane to see how many of those dang Democrats were fighting, and they knew they were going to be arrested or they knew they were going to be detained for trying to do so. And then nothing is said. There's nothing said about them, guys. And they got support from their leader, which is what Mike Johnson is about to say.
Well, we will never bend the knee. Bend the knee to what, Hakeem? To ICE? Come on. The reason the Democrats were even at the detention facility is equally concerning. The purpose was they were there demanding to shut down the detention facility. Now look, here's who's housed in the detention facility. Violent gang members, rapists, and murderers. They want to shut it down. We already know the Democrats support open borders. They support MS-13 gang members. They go visit them in jail. They want to allow illegals to vote, so many of them. But this is a new low. Republicans want to detain and deport criminal illegal aliens. Democrats want to empty the jails. Could you have a stronger contrast than that right there? We don't need less detention beds and facilities. We need much more. And that behavior is just unacceptable. We're grateful to U.S. Attorney Alina Habba in New Jersey. She's opened an investigation into this matter.
Let's go.
And that legal process will play out. We're having conversations. We had them this morning in the House Republican Conference meeting this morning about appropriate action that we need to take here to address that inappropriate behavior, the wildly inappropriate behavior, and we will do that. Let me just talk about reconciliation real quick. Look, this is the bill's coming together, as you've heard. The last 3 committees are reporting out today. Everybody in this room, I know, gets fixated on a few final details about all this. But I think it's important to just state one more time what we're achieving through reconciliation. This will be one of the most consequential pieces of legislation ever passed by the United States Congress. It is large, it is comprehensive, and it deals with reconciling the budget in a way that will be fiscally responsible. We're going to slash taxes, including on tips, overtime, Social Security for seniors and job creators, restore American energy dominance, as you've heard, secure our border and deport illegal aliens. We're going to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, return to peace through strength, and reduce spending all at the same time. And I put reconciliation on an aggressive timetable back in January. I said that we would try to do this as quickly as possible. We're still on target to hit that Memorial Day deadline, which people balked at when we first said it. The American people are counting on us to get this done and get it done quickly, and we are on target to do it. President Biden left virtually every area of public policy in disrepair, and it is incumbent upon Congress to fix it and pass laws that cannot be easily undone or overwritten. We're working around the clock to build that consensus to get the 218 votes and deliver on President Trump's America First agenda so the American people can really begin to feel relief. And as we're working...
Guys, again, let me know your thoughts. Do you trust Mike Johnson or not? Because he's saying that they're going to have it by Memorial Day. I don't believe it one bit. I believe it's going to be more like Labor Day, if that they're going to get this bill through. And I believe it's still going to have a lot of pork and a lot of fat in there that is going to be wasteful government spending from the Biden errors that for some reason, some of these rhino Republicans are getting paid by lobbyists, and that's why it's still going to be full. Mark my words, guys. Mark this episode, that this new bill that they put out is not going to cut enough. It's still going to have a lot of fat, and it's going to be late. Let me know your thoughts. And want to say real quick, what's new? Thank you so much for gifting 10 True Life News memberships. Let's go. Growing the True Life News family. If you got a membership from What's New, show them some love in the chat, guys. I love it. Let's go.
To get this done, House Democrats are working overtime to deceive the American people about this. We've discussed it already this morning, but they're not talking about what the bill actually does. They're using talking points that are pretty stale. They're not afraid to lie about what's in it, and we're not afraid to tell the truth about what the Democrats are doing. They've already been forced to take down their advertisements because they were filled with falsehoods about what the bill supposedly was going to have in it. You probably saw last week, they're at it again. They released a CBO report, so-called, that claims that our legislation cuts many millions of Americans out of Medicaid. It's obviously demonstrably false. Other outlets have reported on this, okay? They included policies that are not even in the legislation. How could they have done that? Because they released a report before the bill text was issued, okay? And most of the media ran with that, okay? And I'm just going to say this to my friends in the media, on the Hill Press Corps in particular, right? If you allow Democrats to make these intentionally false claims without pushback, then you're aiding and abetting in the spread of misinformation. I mean, I'm stating the obvious. The job is to get the facts out there, so we hope you will. We said repeatedly, we are protecting Medicaid for the people who need and deserve it. This program is an essential lifeline for our most vulnerable Americans, pregnant women, single mothers, low-income seniors, the disabled. That's who Medicaid is intended to be for, and that's who we're protecting, while we're eliminating fraud, waste, and abuse to improve Medicaid. These are reforms to restore and preserve the system so that it doesn't collapse on itself. That means ensuring illegal aliens don't get coverage meant for Americans in need. It means implementing work requirements to ensure that adults who can work but refuse to cannot keep cheating the system. We're going to continue to call this out, and we're going to put the facts out there, and the people are going to be able to judge it for themselves.
Guys, let me tell you this. You know how much fraud, waste, and abuse is in the system that nobody ever calls out? Until now. Think about it. If we didn't have Doge, we would not know 99% of the fraud, waste, and abuse that's actually been happening. Guys, look at this right here on the screen. Biden paid $271 million in unemployment benefits to thousands of millionaires. Are you even kidding me, guys? This breaks my heart so much because we have people that are living in poverty. We have seniors that are living in poverty. That's why I'm so happy what Trump is working on with the Doge, where they're working to claw back this money and then put it into the hands of American taxpayers that rightly deserve it, guys. This all happened under the Biden administration, and this was only found out by the Doge caucus. So you tell me, how much corruption there is. You have people like Jasmine Crockett that are coming out and saying, oh, Doge is a scam. He's going in and he's cutting contracts and firing people so they won't look into his companies, and then he's making more contracts for his companies. Are you kidding me? Elon Musk is the richest man in the world by far. And you're telling me he's going into the government to get a $2 million contract? Are you kidding me, guys? This is what they do. They spew the lies. They don't care who's watching. And this is where we've got to be able to call them out, guys, because we are winning right now. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, this right here is winning. Listen to this of what you're about to see next.
In April, grocery prices seeing their largest decline in nearly 5 years. Gas prices falling for the third month in a row. President Trump's labor secretary weighing in on X, writing, Americans are breathing a sigh of relief. Every dollar is going further, and workers are able to keep more of their hard-earned paychecks. Okay, Lou, so let's talk a little bit about those inflation numbers. Now, I will quibble a little bit with that statement. Your dollars aren't going farther. They're just going less far at a decreasing rate, which is still a good thing.
Yes, exactly.
But it's a little different than your prices coming down. But I saw that inflation print this morning. I thought, that's good news. We should be celebrating.
It's very good news. I will say, I'll give a little disclaimer, right? This is the first time there could be any tariff impact, but if we really look at it, businesses could still be selling off pre-tariff inventory. We want to see this trend continue, but I tell you, it's a huge sigh of relief for President Trump. And even more importantly for Jerome Powell, because Jerome Powell was in a precarious situation. If inflation was reigniting because of tariffs and the labor market was weakening, we get the dreaded stagflation. So I think from all sides, and this is why I think you see the market over the course of the day start to react more positively, now the stage is set for a very orderly reduction in interest rates in the back half of the year.
Taylor, data, what did you make of it?
I'm with Lou. I was a little, I don't want to say frustrated, but if you're a viewer at home and you don't understand the ins and outs of the way CPI works, all you have been hearing is tariffs are inflationary. It's happening immediately. And yet we don't see it in this report. And to your point, yes, the average economist said that inventory is about 3.7 months on hand. So you wouldn't start to see tariffs until later. But from the consumer who's been told inflation's here and it's impacting your prices immediately and all hell is breaking loose, then to just read a note that says, oh, but tariffs weren't going to show up in this report anyways. The tariffs was going to show up later. I'm a little frustrated. I wish the economist would have been more clear to me and to a consumer.
Guys, you want to know? Oh, I've got to show you this, guys, because again, too, context means everything. And whenever you see this right here, 90% of Federal Reserve economists are Democrats. So the people that are telling us that tariffs are bad, the economy's bad, we're in a recession, Trump sucks, we're all gonna, lose, they're all Democrats. So what do you expect them to say? And you would think, guys, that they would tell the truth and they would be honest. But guess what? That's not reality. Because remember, when it came to all the experts were wrong about COVID. They were wrong about the the inflation. They're wrong about the border. Everybody has been wrong about this. And when we show you the context, guys, that when you listen to this, you got to know the full facts and bring in everything, because that literally, it's what actually brings common sense. If you only hear it from one source, then my God, we're already in a recession. But when you see the full picture, now you know we're actually doing really, really well.
We're at home and saying it won't show up in March, it won't show up in April, it won't show up in May, it may show up in June or July or August. That being said, Brian, the underlying data was good. You know me, I come with the detailed components of CPI going back 84 components to 1998.
Are you going to list all 84 right now?
Well, I think we would have to blow the break. And I don't think you want to do that.
It's apparel down 8%.
Bingo. 31% of those 84 components that will not be listed separately only showed 1 month annualized gains to above 5% in April. That is the only 31%, down from 40% in March. So the overall components fewer components are growing at a rate over 5%. To Lou's point, that's really good news. I just don't like the way it had been phrased, that me as the consumer, I was supposed to panic the minute April data came out.
Well, okay, so let's talk about the panic thing that was around tariffs. Dagan, last night you talked to one of my favorite people on earth when it comes to economics, Art Laffer. Here's what Art Laffer had to say about the deal.
Doing the threat of tariffs with China was perfect, absolutely perfect in bringing China to the table to negotiate. China desperately needs us, Dagan, and we desperately need China. They need us more than we need them.
That's
but
true.
I think what he's done in this is absolutely brilliant.
So what do you think about that in relation to the inflation story right now?
Well, the tariffs were never going to be inflationary. I've said that repeatedly on this very program. Tariffs are like a value-added tax. How's a tax inflationary? It's not. Discourages consumption. And looking at the data so far under President Trump's time, and this is a hat tip and a salute, the good kind, to EJ and Tony, inflation-adjusted weekly paychecks up 1% under President Trump's second term. They were down 4% during Joe Biden. Average energy prices down 1.5% since January. Long way to go still in reversing the damage done to our energy independence and sector, but we're on the road to that. The drop in food prices was driven by declines in meat, poultry, fish, eggs in particular, seeing the second largest drop on record. Inflation overall during President Trump's second term is running at 1.6%.
Let's
Enjoy
go.
it, relish it. Biden's first 18 months, it was 8.6 annualized. And then in his last 30 months, it was about half that rate. But again, inflation and runaway inflation was the norm under Joe Biden.
Night, guys.
Because
Guys, this is from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, which means it's the numbers. You can't, the numbers are what the numbers are, guys. Look at the massive wins, guys. We are putting America first, finally.
is an economic and financial moron, along with everybody who worked for him. President Trump, no. And he actually gives a damn about what people pay and what people earn in this country.
And, you know, I was a little bit wrong about prices coming down, Jackie, because some grocery prices did actually come down in the month-over-month numbers. Dagan mentioned the meat, poultry, fish, eggs category. Eggs the big one there, dairy. Fruits and vegetables. I try to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, so that's very.
You don't lie.
Thank you, Jackie.
Is that a Kit Kat over there? I don't see any.
It's a
bananas
vegetable Kit Kat. Jackie, there is a little bit of relief here, but even the slowdown in the rate, I think, is meaningful to people who have dealt with rates much higher than this in recent history.
Well, yes, and so I don't want to discount it, but at the same time, there's not an inflation report at this point that's going to like gut punch me or move me in any way after experiencing 9% inflation under Joe Biden, whether it's a drop or a rise, you know, even if it's a slight rise because of the perceived threat of tariffs if it were to have an impact. So I'm not really looking at these reports, but I'm looking at the details. I'm glad that Dagan brought up the wage issue. I think that's really important for the prices that are not going to come down. Remember, inflation, as you mentioned, is the rate, but for prices that are not going to come down as a result of going up, people need to earn more to be able to keep up. Yes, there's a long way to go, but on some of those grocery prices, even though they're small reductions, that is a step in the right direction because food prices have been absolutely killing people. On the energy story, I paid $2.50 in New Jersey for gas, which was a very, very low price in an area, by the way, that, you know, typically relishes charging $3 a gallon just because. So I thought that was a very encouraging sign. We are going into the summer driving season when the prices typically go up, but in the fall, we should expect those prices to come down once again. So, I mean, I think we're on the right track and this is all good news.
Lou, you know, on the tariff front and just prices for a second, we saw everybody buy a lot of inventory kind of leading up to the tariffs, right? And they're working through that now, maybe. With this latest pause, are you expecting there to be another huge surge in kind of bulking up inventory to deal with whatever may happen after the 90 days?
I don't think so, because China blinked meaningfully. They announced stimulatory measures last week, came to the table because they're in dire jeopardy. 14.7% of their exports come to the U.S. If these tariffs were in place, they lose there's a 77% drop in exports to the U.S. They need this economically. I think businesses are smart to that, and they're going to say,
guys, just remember, China, they export 5 times more than what we do to their country. So when it comes to their economy, is dependent upon us buying things from them to sell in America. Now, what is our economy based upon? Our is a consumer. We're not a manufacturing economy. We're a consumer economy. We're services economy. That's where the most of us and how we, make it and go continue to raise the economy. But it's blowing my mind that people didn't think this was going to work when they are 5 times more reliant on us than we are on them. It's only a matter of time, guys. But the Democrats, all they did was try to do what? Fearmonger. They tried to put fear into people's minds. Oh, prices are going to be explosive. This, and that. It is all a big joke. It's propaganda. It's a scam. And we are feeling the reality that Trump knows what he's doing.
Hey, there's real conversations going on. There's a real 90-day pause that's going to come to an outcome that's favorable. I'm going to absorb the impact, because typically businesses will absorb 50% of a tariff or inflation impact before they pass it on to the consumer. I think they built that buffer, and you're going to get to the other end. We're going to have a deal, a definitive deal. It's going to be business as usual, but better because of the way that President Trump has negotiated this.
Guys, what a dang win. And I just got to show you this right here, guys. This right here changes everything. Federal Judge Stephanie Haynes rules that President Trump's use of the Aliens Enemy Act to deport criminal alien gang members is lawful, baby. The win is huge because you had a rogue judge who was trying to use a TRO to stop the deportation of criminal illegal aliens. But now, Federal Judge Stephanie Haynes has ruled, hey, Trump's good, step back, stop bothering him. We're going to deport criminal illegal aliens, guys. Want to say, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind, guys, hitting the thumbs up like button. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, guys, to all of our subscribers and viewers. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you so much. If you're not subscribed, please consider clicking that subscribe button, guys. Joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want to serve you guys every day with the top news. We want to bust our butts, give you the best show, the best value, and make sure that you're fully informed. Guys, our chat, I love watching our chat, guys. Such amazing people, such amazing members. Just getting in there, guys, having fun, growing the family. We couldn't do this without you. And just want to say thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. Remember, your memberships and your super chats go to charity on the 22nd. Guys, we donate to these charities, and we are changing lives. It is so beautiful. We've literally given over $33,000 live on stream. And in 8 days, remember, the 22nd of every month, you're going to be seeing this guy donate thousands of dollars again. Why? Because we are going to change lives. This channel is more than just reporting the news. We're going to make our news, guys. We're going to have good news to talk about. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody that supports. Guys, I want to say thank you so much, Patricia Weinman, Larry Pickett, Lay Lewis, April Green. I want to say thank you so much to What's New for gifting 10 TrueLife News memberships. Guys, show them some love in the chat. We are so excited for what's coming. We are winning. America is winning, guys. And we are fully exposing the corruption, the fraud that we know has been there, but we never had anybody to actually have the guts and the courage to do it. But thank God we do. I love you all. Appreciate you so much. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.